Now, if you guys want to cook a cake, you need a recipe. If you want to build an IKEA set, you need the instructions and a step-by-step order process. If you do not follow things in a sequential order, you will not have the outcome that you want. I'm gonna teach you the sequential order process of what you need to do in order through what's called the wealth quadrant, which I created almost a decade ago to teach you how to become wealthy at a young age. And if you're not at a young age, you can still become wealthy quickly by doing it this way. I know a lot of 8 and 9 figure entrepreneurs, and I've never seen one do it really any other way than what I'm about to teach you guys. But let me give you the recipe on how to create wealth. It's called the wealth quadrant. But first, let me introduce you to who I am. Now, let me introduce myself. My name is Steinbrook. It's nice to meet you. I'm an entrepreneur at Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, and most of my businesses are in the real estate space. I started as a real estate investor. I started out doing what's called wholesaling houses. I moved into primarily fixing and flipping properties like you guys see on HGTV, like those flip those house types of shows. That's what I did for a living for a very long time. I'd flip 8 to 12 houses at a time. And then I moved into buying and owning real estate. I started building a rental portfolio, transitioned into more creative strategies like creative financing, owner financing, and seller financing, depending on how you know it in your part of the country. I started creating notes, selling notes, holding partial notes. And then I went into land deals, mobile homes in parks and on their own land. And I did a lot in the single family residential space. I created a YouTube channel called Investor Army to teach people the problems I faced in my business and how I overcame them. And it kind of took off, and I became one of the top YouTube channels in the space for residential real estate investing. And then what happened was I got my real estate license and I joined a global tech brokerage called eXp Realty. We're now the #1 most successful, fastest growing brokerage in real estate history, #1 sales volume brokerage in North America right now. And last month, out of almost 90,000 agents, I was ranked #1, which is cool to say, for net growth at eXp Realty in the month of May of 2023. Currently, right now, for the overall year of 2023, we're ranked between #3 and #4, bouncing back and forth. And this is pretty cool considering I only joined the company, I guess, was it 5 or so years ago? And the company started back all the way in 2009. So I'm gonna teach you guys what I learned along the way that taught me how to understand the mindset to see these opportunities and capitalize on opportunities and business models throughout my career, and what helped me become wealthy at a young age. So let's dig into the wealth quadrant, guys. This is gonna help you a lot. Apply this to your business, your industry, your mindset, your future, your goals, and you're gonna get there faster, and you're gonna have a much better chance of ending up in the future with wealth in your bank account and around you with what you own. And so let me dig into the wealth quadrant, guys, and explain this to you. This is very, very important, and I hope you enjoy this. Now that you're looking at this, you've probably seen this before. It's called the wealth quadrant. I created this back in 2015, which is crazy to think about how many people are teaching this around the world right now, masterminds and things like this all around the globe now. And people are literally talking about this and teaching this. Now, when I created this, it was really not intended to be something like that. And it was really just more as a fundamental practice to teach people how to retain information better. So what I was doing back in 2015 or so when I created the wealth quadrant was I was running a consulting company teaching investors how to get into the industry. And I was teaching them how you see it look right there on the left-hand side with a bullet point process, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I was seeing that people were not retaining information when I was teaching through this type of strategy. So I started putting things into colors, images, pictures, quadrants, charts. And I did this out of inspiration from reading a couple books. Think about Rich Dad Poor Dad with the cash flow quadrant. When something's visual and put into a shape or an object form, it's easier for the stimulus in our brain to kind of retain and remember this, or to also have interest into looking into it, saying, what is this? This looks a lot more interesting and something I would probably want to learn a little bit more as compared to just seeing these 4 things in a bullet point. But basically what I did was I created this quadrant to teach people what I've seen almost every 8 and 9 figure entrepreneur do before me and what I did to become wealthy at a young age. Let me walk you through this and explain this in detail because it's probably different than you've ever heard explained before by someone else. So let's take the first box right there. This is the first step to creating wealth. It's called multiple streams of income, but not the way you're probably thinking about it. Now, the way that you're probably thinking about it is multiple streams of income is going to increase your income. This is what a lot of these fake gurus out there talk about. I see it all the time. I see people saying, if you have multiple streams of income, you're going to make more money or you're going to create wealth by having multiple streams of income. Just factually inaccurate. It just shows they're lacking in business maturity and understanding of what they're actually talking about. So be very careful, guys. If people are telling you that multiple streams of income is a way to increase your income, and that's the teaching principle behind it, they don't know what they're talking about. Multiple streams of income is an insurance policy. It's how you insure your income. So I was an online poker player, one of the best in the world. I did this for about 8 years until government regulation kicked in. And guess what happened? I lost my career overnight. I had one single income stream. I spent almost 10 years building a skill set. I was at the top of the world doing this, and it disappeared immediately on me. And guess what? I had no other income stream, no other way of making money. So let me challenge you here real quick. Let's say you had 1 billion income streams that all make $1 a piece. You make $1 billion. But what if you had just one income stream that was a really, really good one that made $1 billion on its own? So what that's showing is they both make $1 billion, but look at how many income streams is the comparison and the difference. $1 billion over here to 1 over here. That shows there's no relationship between the amount of income streams you have and your income. What multiple streams of income is for ensuring your income. If you had that one really good income stream, that was $1 billion income stream, or like you had one income stream like I did, where I was a top online poker player, when it went away, what did I have to lean on? Nothing. I had to move back home with my parents, tuck my tail. I went broke. I gambled off the rest of my money. Before I knew it, my life was ruined because I had one income stream. If I had been building a rental portfolio, been building a business on the side, when that career disappeared, even though it wasn't fair in how it happened, I would have been able to support myself. Instead, I wasted 7 years or so of my life to get back on my feet. So this is very important to understand. I believe people should have at least 3 income streams, because if you have 2 and you lose one, you're right back to that vulnerable position where you only have one. It creates more stress. It creates thought occupation because you're thinking about the fear of what happens if you lose your job or you lose this income stream or it doesn't come in at the same rate. So think of multiple streams of income, guys, how to get to 3 at least, and then also thinking of it in a different way. This is not just to increase your income. And yes, it will increase your income if you have very profitable income streams and more of them. But what if they don't make money? So I want you to understand kind of the real principle behind this. Now let's go on to box number 2. Now, the way I came up with the second box right there is because what happened for me was I did everything on my own. If I was sick and I had to play poker for a living, I had to show up and play sick. If I just lost and I was tilted and I had a shifted mindset, I had to play up with a broken mindset. If I had life events, health issues, family, children, grandchildren, anything like that in a life event that can pop up, this could have affected my career. And I could never hire someone to come help me with this. I had to play my own cards and I had to take risk all the time. So basically, I was doing everything on my own. I was what's called a solopreneur, if you want to look at it that way. This is not sustainable and this doesn't last, because eventually you're going to break and eventually you're going to burn out. So you need to have leverage in your system. You need to have something that has a structure to it, something that has a foundational starting point, that has a leverage component to it that can duplicate upon itself outside of your own efforts. So when it comes to duplication, think about this. This is having multiple employees, building a team of real estate agents like I did globally with almost 3,000 agents globally, having multiple rental properties, multiple YouTube videos. And then you can also leverage the duplication, leveraging other people's money, other people's time, other people's systems, and other people's technologies. What you need to understand is you are a duplication creator, not the creator of a one-to-one time unit relationship business, meaning you're not trading your time in for time out. You're trading your time in for a multiplier of time out. And that's what wealthy people think about. They think about duplication leverage. Now let's go on to the last 2 income streams and talk about why this actually is how wealthy people create wealth. And let's talk about income streams here real quick. So you're only looking at 2. Number 3 is equity, which is ownership opportunities. And number 4 is passive or residual income. There's a 3rd income stream, which is why people never create wealth, which is why it's not in this box. It's called active income or time traded income. And it's pretty much what 99% of people work for. This would be a job. This would be flipping houses. This would be real estate sales. This would be sales of any type, selling insurance. This is an income stream that's directly tied to time. This is what most people work for their whole life. But guess what happens? When your time into it stops, your income completely stops. You guys could be selling, I don't know, $1 million a year in real estate, and then all of a sudden decide you're going to stop for whatever reason. You just had children, you have to take care of your parents, and guess what happens to your income? It goes away completely. And because of these life liabilities, and because what happens in life as you start to accumulate money through active income and save up a little, you have a nest egg, which makes it harder to push the pace, burn out. And I've never seen anybody create wealth doing it through active income. But what I see them do is I see them do it through these other 2 boxes right here. This is how I did it. And let me explain how this works. Let's look at number 3 right here, the 3rd box, bottom left, which is equity. Let's say you own a couple stocks and own a couple rental properties. And then unfortunately, you're driving home, you get hit in a car wreck and you go into a coma. Now the markets went up 20% while you were sleeping. And when you woke up, you are now wealthier than you were when you went to sleep. Now, this is a very important concept to understand, because what that means is there's 0 time allocated to expand the net worth position. Equity can grow without your time allocated to make it grow, which means you could literally be sleeping or building other businesses or traveling the world with your family, and those equity positions are expanding behind you. Now, there is a risk of equity. It could actually go down, but as long as you're a good investor and understand this, you're going to put yourself in equity positions that expand. And this is how wealthy people understand how to make their life in this world extend itself and have more time than the average person, because they're playing with a different income stream, and time turns into money and money turns into time. So what you're trying to do is combine the components of this box. Now let's look at duplication and equity combined. Let's say I had 1 rental property versus 20 rental properties. That same one market force went up. The market went up by 10%, let's say. Over here, you only gain by 10%. If you have 20 over here, you gain by 200% with the exact same rising of the ocean or tides or market force going up 1 time. So that's equity plus duplication creates that compounding effect and the multiplier effect, which creates wealth expansion. Now let's look at the last one real quick, guys, and wrap it up. Hope this is interesting for you guys and the way I'm explaining it. The last one is going to be residual or passive income. Truly, I believe this is the only thing that matters in business, because this is time and money freedom. I know a lot of people that make a lot of money, guys. I know a lot of people that are dentists and attorneys and top salespeople. They make 2, 4, 5, 600, 700,000, some of them $1 million a year. But what they don't have is time. And if they want their time, they're going to have to take time off their business. And if they take time off their business, guess what happens? Their income goes down. And it's this brutal back and forth. So what you need to do is build a residual income stream. Let's say you're making $1 million a year selling houses and $1 million a year through like EXP's revenue share model or through rental income or anything else like that. What's the big difference? The same income is hitting the bank account, but this one over here has every day, all day to do what they want with their life, their family, and their friends, while this person over here is working 60, 80, 100-hour weeks forever, and it will always have to be that way because they do not have a residual income stream. And if they stop working, guess what happens? It goes away completely. So if you want to become wealthy, I've seen a lot of people do so. This is the way I did it. This is the way all my friends did it. This is the way all the top entrepreneurs I've ever met have done it. They insured themselves first with multiple streams of income, tried to find the best income streams possible. So multiple good income streams does increase the income. They got out of their own way, leveraged duplicatable systems, technologies, found ways to grow themselves outside themselves. And they worked for equity models and cash flow models or residual income models and not for active income. And this is why they became wealthy at a young age or became massively wealthy throughout their life. I hope this helped, guys. I'll see you on the next one and on to the next.